and welcome back to the Kids Arthritis Conference 2021, our first ever conference. So I am really, really excited. And I'm also really, really excited because Amelia is here with us. And if you missed the first part of her time with us, go back to the previous video for the conference, and she was teaching us how to create a soulful space. Now she's going to be teaching us how to make some soulful photography, which is really, really exciting. So what's going to happen is there's going to be some pictures that pop up on the screen, and Amelia is going to talk us through how you can create those pictures at home using a camera or a phone as well. So Amelia, let's jump into the first picture. What have we got? Talk us through.
Okay, so I do a lot of family photography, and what I love capturing is real moments. So what I love to do, so say with the photo that is up now, that is a mother with her child, and what I love to do is get them into, like, say I'll choose a spot where I like the light, so you don't want to have too much bright sunlight. You want to be in a nice neutral kind of shady spot so that that their skin is not, spotty and blotchy from the sun. And then I basically get them to interact. So say if this is your family member and you want to take a photo and you want to capture them really enjoying themselves, you just get them to interact for a bit without taking a photo first. So I got this mother to kind of just talk to her baby and like giggle with him, and then that's when I started taking photos. So I basically created the setting where I knew I wanted them to be, and then I let them enjoy themselves, and then I took the photos. And I often come from behind the parent so that I get more of the face of the baby, and you can do it the other way around, but it's much nicer than just having them look straight at you, because it kind of takes them out of that moment. So that's what I was doing there.
So it's sort of letting them be relaxed and then get the camera out and take photos.
That's right. And just chat. I love to chat with them while I'm doing it, because a lot of people don't like a camera watching them. But if I get them into kind of more focusing on each other, if there's a child, then they almost forget that the camera's there. So that's something that you guys can try at home, is kind of the camera just is like a second kind of thing. It's not the foremost thing. It's like what's happening is the foremost thing, and then you capture that
while it's happening. Okay, right. Next photo, what have we got up on the screen?
So this is a very similar one. It's slightly different lighting because it was brighter.
Right.
But again, I made sure that they weren't facing into the light. The light was coming from through the trees. You can see the little light bubbles kind of just above the mum's head. And again, I got her to just interact with her baby and lift him up. And, I never know exactly what they're going to do. This seems to be something that mums love to do with their little children, as you can see. And I just stood back, and I'll often take a few photos of the one interaction. And then, you capture those really beautiful shots. So again, it's about, I put them in the space that I like. I find a nice background, and then I have them there, and then I get them to just interact and capture that.
So what about if the sun is coming from, like, there's no way that you can sort of get out of the sun. There's no shade. There's nothing like that. And we all know that photo where you've got like that glare and you're squinting your eyes. And how do you work around a situation like that? And how can the people at home do that too? Okay,
so if it's full-blown light, then, and there's no shade that's big enough to cover them fully. You just go into the light, but what you do is you make sure that they're not looking into the light.
Okay, how do you do that?
So what I will do is I will face the light, and then I will have them facing me. Even if it's kind of almost directly on top of us, there's still going to be angles where the model is not directly looking into the sunlight.
Okay.
And what you can do is there might be a tree in the background, or even their face, like their head, and I move my camera so that the sun is not directly at my camera. So I'll find a spot where they're like a tree is blocking the light. It's not creating shade, but it's blocking the actual bright light. But yeah, the most important thing is that they're not looking into the light, and that then I maneuver myself so that the light isn't directly in my camera either, so I'm not creating a silhouette. So it's a little bit of kind of managing, you know, like the environment, but there is a way to do it, and you can embrace full sunlight. It is trickier, but sometimes you've got to embrace full sunlight because it's all you've got.
And there's on sort of smartphones and stuff, there's all these different settings that you can use to do lots of different photos. But if you just want sort of a basic setting on your smartphone, what would you be looking at for people to use?
If I was doing a close-up like that with just 2 or 3 people, portrait mode is really good on a smartphone because it blurs out the background and makes it almost look like a professional photo.
Okay.
So portrait mode is great.
Okay.
Otherwise, just use regular mode and just kind of sometimes you can create a little focus point and you can just focus on the faces. If there's a big group, you just use the regular mode and then you can add a little filter to it afterwards. But again, you want to pretend as if you're using a proper camera and try to stay away from like looking directly into the sun or having your, you know, models looking directly into the sun.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having to look directly into the sun.
Like everyone's like squinting their eyes and hoping for the best.
Yeah, that's right.
But in saying that, if there's a moment happening and you're wanting to capture it, you don't want to stop that moment because the lights are not right, because light can make it beautiful no matter what. Yeah. So the moment is the most important thing, and then you just capture that. So yes, it's always going to be beautiful no matter what.
Look at that. It's making everyone sound like they're all professional photographers right now. It's beautiful no matter what. Okay, next photo, our third photo that we've got. Talk us through how we can recreate this image.
So again, this is like, so with little children, I love to just get them in their own natural state. Like, I'm not the kind of photographer who will dress a baby up and pose them because often they're just not happy with that. And although they look cute dressed as the pumpkin, I don't find that it really like captures their true spirit, like their little essence. So what I do is I, like again with that photo, get the dad to interact with the baby, and it doesn't matter where they are. Like that's just on the lawn, and I think he just maybe finished giving him a fresh nappy, and I just noticed that this little moment was happening, that the baby was smiling at the dad, and so I came and stood behind the dad and just focused on the baby's face and used the dad's kind of shoulder and side of his face as almost like a border for the photo.
Okay.
So you can use that and it blurs it out, and it's kind of you're creating like a little frame for the main subject, which in that case was the baby's face.
There you go. Next time someone's changing a baby's nappy, just at
grab
the
the
end.
camera.
That's just at
grab
the end.
camera.
Okay. So if you want to take a photo from like the model is sort of standing above you, and so you have to get down quite low to take the picture. How do you do something like that? You know, there's like the whole double chin thing sometimes with people, and how does that work?
Well, I probably wouldn't ever choose to do that because it's a tricky
angle. Okay,
it's a tricky angle unless there's something. I can't even think of a time that you would do that. But if you did do that, you probably wouldn't want to have them looking directly at you because, like you said, it does create a bit of a strange kind of double chin effect.
Yeah.
But if they're like looking and they're doing their thing, like say it was a wedding and they were walking down the aisle, you can definitely be lower and capture. But they're looking and they've got, you know, they're in movement or something like that. But I wouldn't have them looking down at me because it just look wrong.
That's a good tip.
It's better to be kind of up, I think, looking down.
Up, looking down instead.
Yeah.
So that goes the same with selfies. They're better when they're up rather than,
I reckon,
sort of straight.
Yeah.
How do you take selfies?
Well, you take a whole bunch and you just see what looks best, and then you learn. You get your camera and you go and you do a full circle, and then you see like what light looks better, how your facial expression looks better. It's all like.
Because you like taking selfies.
Well, only just recently. In the past year, I never took selfies before that. But now that I have a business online and I'm creating a personal brand.
Okay, yeah, selfies.
I've learned how to take selfies, which is a whole new thing.
Okay, so if you've just learned how to take selfies, give us some tips on how to take a good selfie then.
Oh, well, okay. Again, I love the selfie with, and you saw it with sunshine coming from behind, but you use, the sun's there, then you're here, then your phone's here, and you position your head or a tree or whatever so that the sun is shining from behind it. And that's a really cool, like, it's like you see the sun rays coming from behind.
Okay.
Rather than, again, you don't want the sun going into your face because it's not very flattering.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look, you're kind of squinty.
Yeah.
And also you have to try, it's really great to try to get yourself into like a happy vibe so you can start laughing or just like thinking, and then you just snap a few photos. It's kind of like you're the photographer and the subject.
Yeah, yeah.
And you don't want to be like nervous of your own photo.
Awkward, yeah.
You just take a few and you'll see some will not turn out, and you might get one or two that turn out, and then pop a little filter on them, maybe like crop them down a little bit so that you've got the thirds rule, so that you're in like 1/3 of the frame.
Yeah, okay.
And
then the rest is everything else.
Yeah, and if all else fails, make it black and white.
There we go. Okay.
Black and white.
So if we ever see a black and white picture on your Facebook page, you just know it's because all else has failed.
Or that sometimes the colour just will not work, and sometimes black and white just creates some kind of effect that colour doesn't. But black and white does hide a multitude.
Good tip. Good tip.
Yep.
Good tip.
And with selfies too.
This is why you're here. It's good.
It's not all about perfection, and it's about making it work.
And being creative.
And being creative and having fun. Yep.
We've got a couple more photos, is that right?
There's a few more photos,
okay.
yeah.
Let's see the next one.
So again, this is very similar to the last one where this is a newborn. And again, I love having the parents like hands maybe near the newborn and like using the parent's body to frame the photo. So this little baby, she was just putting her into her crib, and I kind of quickly came over and grabbed some of these photos. So it's actually, I observe what's happening and document it rather than, sometimes I will create, I'll say, I'll stand over here and let's do this, but often I'll just watch the parents doing what they're doing and then I'll go and capture that. So it's really good to just keep a little eye out for what's happening, because often we just think a photo is getting everyone together, standing, looking, smiling, take the photo. But we miss so much when, we can see like, your child is playing with a rock or someone's giggling over here. If you go and kind of sneak up and take a little photo, that is going to be more memorable than the one where you've gotten everyone standing up and looking. And yeah, so that's what I try to do when I do a session for families as well.
That is very true. Just go over and
watch a lot of observing and kind of getting to know what the people are like as well, and capturing when you know that is just them. You see someone laugh and you're like, that's so them. That's a beautiful photo.
I'm learning so much. I'm learning. I hope you're learning lots at home too. Okay, what have we got next? What's our next image that we've got up on the screen to talk about?
What's coming? So this is siblings or children in general, when you've got a few children that you want to take photos of. This little baby, she wasn't walking yet. She might have been crawling. So what we needed to do, and again, you can see the sun coming from behind the bush. And I loved this. So it's not in their face, but it's creating this beautiful softness to the photo. So we got the baby to sit, so the baby was happy. So the most important thing is that one child is sitting.
Okay.
And then the older one, who I could actually give a little bit of direction to, I just got her to sit next to them and interact, and then I took a few photos. So if they're not happy, I'll let them take some time, go do something, play for a while. And then so as long as they're relaxed and happy, then that's the time to snap away with children.
Now, do you have any pictures of pets?
I do pets as well. And it's a similar thing.
Okay.
It's a similar thing. It's kind of engaging with them and getting them to trust.
But it's a dog or a cat or a rabbit. Or a turtle
you just
or a fish or... How do you do...
You get it on it. Well, if it was a rabbit, you just like
Oh, well, that's easy.
get close down. Any animal is, I guess I know what I'm looking for, and it's just kind of like there is a photo with a family and a dog, and the dog was very, very jumpy. That will come up.
Oh, okay.
So
well, we'll hold it till
yes.
then, shall we? Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait for that picture. Okay, what is the next photo for us to share today? You can tell us about it.
Okay, so here's another little sibling one, and a newborn photo shoot, and this, it looks almost like I planned this, but I didn't.
But
again.
You didn't? Okay.
No, what we did was the older sister here she was done. This was at the end of the photo shoot.
Okay.
So we'd been about maybe an hour and a half taking photos, and little, small children, half an hour, 45 minutes, they're done.
Okay.
So we let her play for a while, and we were taking photos of the newborn. And when she came in, I think we must have said like, oh, look at her, look at his little nose, and look, that's your little brother. And when she went up close and was watching him, that's when I got those photos.
That's sneaking up thing again.
Yeah, so I positioned the baby where I wanted the photos, and then I got her to engage.
Yeah.
But I would never say, go up and put your hand like this and do this, because it wouldn't feel real, and that moment would be slightly different. So it's just capturing the moment that's there.
So, wealth of knowledge here. I'm so lucky to have you at our conference this year.
Oh.
Thank you. Okay, let's see what's now. I wonder if it's a dog one. Not yet?
There's a few family ones coming up.
Okay.
Oh, this is another. So one thing I love to do with children, especially if we're in a garden and they're finding it a little bit tricky to, want to sit and look at a camera, is to ask them to look at the flowers and play with the leaves and whatever, and then for them to show me what they're doing. And so this is one of those photos. So, they play, and I'll capture some photos of them just looking. I love that, when they're really engaged, and I'll really get like a close-up and let the foliage and the flowers frame the shot.
Okay.
To soften it. And then I'll say, oh, what have you got? And then they engage with me, and then I can get some photos of them like that.
And are kids getting more used to having cameras in front of them?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Some kids will just smile straight up and they know exactly what's going on. But my camera is a bit bigger than a phone and most cameras, so it sometimes can be a bit daunting for them. Yeah. So then it's the way I interact with them. So I want to, let them like me and trust me and know me before I just get the camera out. It's not about the photo first, it's about the connection.
And if they feel more comfortable with the person taking the photos, then they're more likely to be more relaxed and everything.
Yes,
like and if in the beginning.
Yeah, that's right. And if they enjoy it and the family enjoy it, then they look back on the whole experience as a positive experience, not just having a photo.
Yes.
That's like a kind of like, oh God, we were really stressed and that was really uncomfortable. It's actually like the whole thing is enjoyable.
Yes. You get all the outfits ready and you have to do all this.
Yeah, make it fun. Yep.
And fun instead. Hey, what is our next image? I love not knowing. I don't know what the next image is until it comes up. What's the next one?
Okay, so family photos, so with the whole family.
Oh, yeah, this can be tricky to get everyone to keep their eyes open all the time.
Well, that's right. And that's why I often, again, like I will get a few of them looking over, but I'll first take photos of them all just engaging. So I'll get them to sit where I want them to sit. And I'll often like say, baby can sit here and like the child can stand here. And then I say, oh, just chat together and like, oh, look at him and look at her, and just get them to all engage. And then I'll get some beautiful photos like this. And then when they're feeling comfortable and relaxed, then I'll say, oh, look over here. And then you can get a nice photo of them all looking. Whereas if you sit a group of people down and get them to look straight at you, they're kind of like,
okay.
It's a bit like a deer in a headlight,
Yeah.
So it's like, let them and allow them to relax. And then while they're relaxing, there's some beautiful candid photos.
Never thought of doing it like that before. Never thought. I feel like a lot of people at home will be like, that is excellent when I have to take a next group photo of my children or workplace or something like that. You just get them relaxed first and interacting with one another, capture those moments and then say, smile, and they'll be more happy too.
Absolutely. That's exactly right.
Okay. Ooh, so many photos. It's excellent though. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us today.
Oh, no worries.
What is next?
What is next?
What is next?
Oh, there we go. Another one very similar. So just with this, again, I didn't actually have them go in this position. the mother was holding the little baby and she walked over and he gave her a little kiss on the head. And because I was just like observing and watching what they were doing, and I missed the first little kiss, and I said, can you do that again? And so that was this photo, and it was just beautiful because the lighting was really beautiful. It's in their home, they're relaxed.
Yeah.
The baby's happy, and yeah, so that's again one of these kind of little moments.
Okay. I want is a dog photo next. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you worked out with that. Yeah, okay. What's next?
I don't know what one's next.
Reese is just putting them up randomly. Shout out to Reese. Okay, what's next?
Okay, here's one of the dog photos. Now, we did get a few with the dog and we did get some of them looking over, but I loved this one.
Yeah.
Because the family is actually very much like this. They're very like lighthearted and always giggling and just like a beautiful family. And so I liked the photos with the dog up on the bed and just they were interacting with the dog and, you know, and looking at the dog's little eyes looking at the baby. Like she was kind of like, I'm not sure.
I don't know what that is.
What's this, my little sister? And so I just took a lot of them in, you know, kind of interacting as a family because their dog is a really important part of their family. And again, yeah, just making sure that it was candid and making sure that even the dog was having a nice time, you know. And, so that was that one.
Okay. Is another one, the next one a dog one? Or another animal one?
No, I don't think there's any more animals.
Okay. It's okay. I like animals. I have a pet rabbit. Many people know that, including you.
Yes.
You've met Marshmallow.
That might be all. I'm not sure if there's any more. Oh, no, there is one.
There is one more?
Yeah. So, like I said, capturing candid moments.
Yeah.
So with a newborn, or any family moments really, but I love the moments like he's doing her nappy, and I can make sure that like it's framed so that you know it's something that they can look at for years to come, and it's a beautiful photo. But the mother is watching in, and so I've used her face and her shoulder to frame the photo, and again, this wasn't planned. I just kind of thought, oh, while he's doing the little baby's nappy, I'll take some photos because that is something that you'll look back on and he'll be like, I remember when we did that and how little she was. Because a lot of times newborn photo shoots are just kind of they're like the mum and dad holding the baby and looking at the baby, but and in a studio, whereas you don't see all the realness of their home and what they had around them and those moments like that are going to pass so quickly. You feel like they're going to go forever, but they do pass quickly. So they're the moments I love, like and mothers breastfeeding and all that kind of thing. Again, I kind of often come from behind their shoulder and have them framed, like their shoulder and their face framed, or come from that way, so that you can just kind of create a tasteful, beautiful photo that has a, you know, really nice memory.
Yes, rather than just what I've learned from the, you know, just you sharing all your knowledge with us today. Thank you for that. And I also know there's so much more you can share in regards to photography. You're very passionate about it. But, you know, group photos, get everyone talking and relaxing and interacting with one another. Take a couple of those shots and then get them to go cheese and get people at home rather than, you know, in a studio or something like that, and help create the kids to be more natural with what they're doing. If they're sitting on the couch having something to eat, or if they're cuddling, rather than saying, smile, look at me, you know, it creates a deeper photo.
That's right.
That's probably word to use.
Yes, and as the photographer, I can move around and capture it in different ways. They don't always have to be like in the right position. I can move around and find that beautiful photo.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be parents at home now that are just going to be like, their kids are going to be sitting on the couch eating popcorn, and they're going to be like moving around with their phones, like, just keep eating your popcorn. Amelia said, just be natural. That's right. Pretend I'm not here.
There is no phone here.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today, Amelia. I have learned a lot about soulful space and soulful photography, and the links are all in this live stream for today. But thank you especially for joining us for our first Kids Arthritis conference. It's been amazing. I was very excited when you said yes. I was like, yay!
Oh, it's so nice to be here, and it's a real pleasure to share all my knowledge. It doesn't really feel like it's knowledge, and then I share it, and it's really nice to.
I've learned a lot, so
I'm glad.
yeah, and I like taking photos, so
Yes.
yeah, thank
Well,
you so
hopefully
much for that.
you can take one or two little tips, and it can shift the way that you take photos from now on.
Thank you. And we will be back with more of the Kids Arthritis Conference from our next guest very shortly. I'm Sarah Freeman with Amelia.